Welcome to Wisdom Audiobooks. Have you ever felt nervous or lost for words in an important conversation? Imagine being able to express yourself clearly, confidently, and persuasively in any situation. This audiobook is your guide to mastering the art of articulate communication, unlocking doors to success, relationships, and personal growth. As George Bernard Shaw once said, "The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place." Today, we'll break down this illusion and help you speak smart. Introduction. The audiobook, Speak Smart: How to Be More Articulate, is written and published by Wisdom Audiobooks. It is crafted with one goal in mind: to empower you to communicate with clarity, confidence, and impact. Whether you're a young professional striving to climb the career ladder, a student preparing for presentations, or someone who simply wants to feel more at ease in conversations, this audiobook is here to guide you step by step. Let's face it, communication challenges are universal. Some of us freeze up during job interviews, while others struggle to organize our thoughts before speaking. Many of us fear judgment when presenting ideas, and some even avoid social interactions altogether because we don't know how to start or keep a conversation going. These struggles are real, and they can hold us back from achieving our full potential. Take Sarah, for example, a young marketing executive I worked with years ago. She was brilliant at her job but dreaded team meetings because she often stumbled over her words. Her confidence took a hit, and she began doubting her abilities. Does that sound familiar? I understand how frustrating it feels to be misunderstood or unprepared in critical moments. I've been there too. But let me assure you, you're not alone. Everyone, no matter how successful they seem, has faced communication hurdles at some point in their lives. The good news? These skills can be learned, practiced, and mastered. As Maya Angelou wisely said, "Words mean more than what is set down on paper. It takes the human voice to infuse them with deeper meaning." This audiobook will teach you how to use your voice, not just to speak but to inspire, connect, and influence. In the next hour, you'll discover practical strategies to overcome common communication barriers. You'll learn how to build confidence in your voice, organize your thoughts logically, master body language, and tell compelling stories that captivate your audience. Each chapter is packed with actionable tips, exercises, and insights designed to transform the way you communicate. So, take a deep breath, relax, and immerse yourself in this journey. By the end of this audiobook, you'll have the tools you need to tackle any communication challenge head-on. Remember, every great speaker started somewhere, and so will you. Your wisdom journey starts here. Chapter 1: Understanding the Art of Communication. Welcome to Chapter 1, where we dive deep into the foundation of effective communication. Communication is not just about talking, it's an art that combines clarity, connection, and intention. In this chapter, you'll uncover what it truly means to communicate effectively, identify common barriers that hold us back, and explore the transformative power of self-awareness. Let's begin by answering a fundamental question: what exactly is effective communication? 1. What is effective communication? Effective communication isn't merely about saying what you think, it's about ensuring your message is understood as intended. Think of it like throwing a ball. If you aim poorly, the ball won't reach its target. Similarly, if your words lack clarity or purpose, they might miss their mark entirely. To break it down further, effective communication consists of 3 key elements: content, voice, and body language. Content. This refers to the actual words you choose. Are they simple enough for your audience to grasp? Do they align with the context of the conversation? As Mark Twain famously said, "The difference between the right word and the almost right word is the same as the difference between lightning and a lightning bug." Precision in language matters. Voice, your tone, pace, and volume play a crucial role in how your message is received. A monotone delivery can make even the most exciting idea fall flat, while a warm, expressive voice invites engagement. For example, imagine listening to a motivational speaker who speaks too softly or too quickly. Chances are you'd lose interest quickly. On the other hand, a speaker who modulates their voice, pausing for emphasis, varying their tone, can keep you hooked. Body language, nonverbal cues, such as eye contact, gestures, and posture, can either reinforce or contradict your words. Research shows that over 55% of communication impact comes from nonverbal signals. If your body language doesn't match your words, people may doubt your sincerity. Now, let me share a quick story to illustrate this point. A few years ago, I attended a business conference where two speakers delivered presentations on similar topics. The first speaker had excellent data but spoke in a robotic tone, avoided eye contact, and stood stiffly behind the podium. Despite his expertise, the audience seemed disengaged. The second speaker, however, used relatable examples, maintained steady eye contact, and moved naturally around the stage. His energy was contagious, and people left the room buzzing about his ideas. This example highlights why mastering all three elements, content, voice, and body language, is essential for effective communication. Without balance, even the best ideas risk falling short. 2. Common barriers to clear communication. Now that we understand the components of effective communication, let's discuss the obstacles that often get in the way. These barriers can be internal, stemming from within ourselves, or external, related to our environment. Here are some of the most common ones. Fear and anxiety. Many people freeze up when speaking because they fear judgment or rejection. This fear can lead to rambling, mumbling, or even complete silence. Lack of preparation. Jumping into a conversation without organizing your thoughts is like trying to build a house without blueprints. It rarely ends well. Overcomplicating language. Using jargon or overly complex terms alienates your audience. Albert Einstein once remarked, "If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough." Keep it straightforward. Not listening actively. Communication is a two-way street. If you're only focused on what you want to say next, you'll miss valuable input from others. Let's take a closer look at one of these barriers, fear, and explore why it affects so many of us. Fear of public speaking, also known as glossophobia, ranks among the top phobias worldwide. Why? Because it taps into deeper insecurities. What if I mess up? What if people laugh at me? These thoughts create a mental block that prevents us from expressing ourselves freely. But here's the truth: everyone makes mistakes, even the best communicators. What sets them apart is their willingness to push through discomfort. As Dale Carnegie, author of How to Win Friends and Influence People, once said, "Most of the successful people I've known are those who do more listening than talking." By focusing less on perfection and more on connection, you can overcome this barrier. Another barrier worth mentioning is overthinking. Have you ever found yourself rehearsing every word in your head before speaking? While preparation is important, overthinking can make you sound unnatural. Instead, aim for authenticity. As Steve Jobs once advised, "Be a yardstick of quality." Some people aren't used to an environment where excellence is expected. Strive for excellence, but allow room for spontaneity. 3. The power of self-awareness. One of the most underrated aspects of communication is self-awareness, the ability to recognize your strengths and weaknesses. When you become aware of how you come across to others, you gain the power to improve. Here's a simple exercise to boost your self-awareness. After every important conversation, ask yourself 3 questions. 1. What went well? Reflect on moments when you felt confident and articulate. 2. What could have been better? Identify areas where you stumbled or felt unsure. 3. What feedback did I receive? Pay attention to verbal and nonverbal cues from others. For instance, imagine you gave a presentation at work. If colleagues nodded along and asked thoughtful questions afterward, that's a sign you connected with them. On the other hand, if they seemed distracted or confused, consider revisiting your approach next time. Self-awareness also involves understanding your natural communication style. Some people are naturally assertive, while others lean toward being diplomatic or humorous. There's no right style. What matters is adapting your approach based on the situation and audience. To drive this home, let me share another inspiring story. Oprah Winfrey, one of the greatest communicators of our time, wasn't always comfortable speaking publicly. Early in her career, she struggled with nerves and self-doubt. But instead of letting fear define her, she embraced vulnerability and turned it into strength. She once said, "Turn your wounds into wisdom." Her journey reminds us that growth begins with honesty about our limitations. Another powerful example is Malala Yousafzai, whose courage to speak out transformed global conversations about education. Despite facing immense challenges, she remained steadfast in her mission. Malala once said, "When the whole world is silent, even one voice becomes powerful." Her story teaches us that self-awareness combined with purpose can amplify our impact. 4. Practical strategies for everyday improvement. Now that you understand the importance of self-awareness, let's discuss actionable steps to enhance your communication skills daily. Record yourself speaking. Use your phone to record short speeches or conversations. Listen back to identify areas for improvement, such as filler words, or pacing issues. Practice active listening. Focus fully on the speaker, avoiding distractions like your phone. Paraphrase their points to show understanding. Seek feedback. Ask trusted friends or mentors for constructive criticism. Their insights can highlight blind spots you might overlook. Read aloud daily. Reading aloud improves articulation and helps you become more comfortable using your voice. Start with articles, books, or even scripts. These small habits, practiced consistently, will yield significant results over time. By now, you should have a clearer understanding of what effective communication entails, the barriers that stand in its way, and the importance of self-awareness. You've also learned practical strategies to start improving today. But knowing these principles is just the beginning. In the next chapter, we'll focus on building confidence in your voice, a critical step toward becoming a more articulate communicator. Chapter 2: Building confidence in your voice. Confidence is the foundation upon which all great communication rests. Without it, even the best ideas can falter. In this chapter, we'll explore how to overcome fear and anxiety, develop a strong and engaging voice, and cultivate positive self-talk. By the end of this chapter, you'll have practical tools to help you speak with authority and authenticity. Let's dive in. 1. Overcoming fear and anxiety. Fear and anxiety are two of the biggest obstacles to confident communication. Whether you're preparing for a job interview, giving a presentation, or simply speaking up in a meeting, these emotions can creep in and sabotage your efforts. But here's the good news: fear is natural, and it can be managed. The first step is understanding why fear arises. Often it stems from a fear of judgment or failure. We worry about what others might think if we stumble over our words or make a mistake. As Zig Ziglar once said, "Your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude." Your mindset plays a critical role in overcoming these fears. Here's a powerful technique to combat fear: visualization. Before any important conversation or speech, take a few moments to close your eyes and imagine yourself succeeding. Picture yourself standing tall, speaking clearly, and receiving positive feedback from your audience. Visualization primes your brain for success and reduces anxiety. Another effective strategy is breathing exercises. Deep breathing calms your nervous system and helps you stay centered. Try this simple exercise. Inhale deeply through your nose for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 4 seconds, and exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds. Repeat this cycle 5 times before speaking. You'll feel calmer and more in control. Let me share a story that illustrates the power of overcoming fear. A young woman named Lisa was terrified of public speaking. Every time she had to present in front of her team, her hands would shake, her voice would quiver, and she'd rush through her words. Determined to change, she joined a local Toastmasters club. At first, she struggled, but with consistent practice and support from her peers, she gradually built her confidence. Today, Lisa is a sought-after speaker who inspires others to face their fears. Her journey reminds us that courage grows with action. 2. Developing a strong voice. Once you've addressed the emotional barriers, it's time to focus on the physical aspects of your voice. A strong voice commands attention and conveys authority. Here's how you can develop one. Control your volume. Speaking too softly can make you seem uncertain, while shouting can come across as aggressive. Find a middle ground where your voice projects confidence without overwhelming your audience. Modulate your tone. Monotony kills engagement. Vary your tone to emphasize key points and keep listeners interested. For example, lower your voice slightly when delivering an important statement, then raise it slightly to signal enthusiasm. Pace yourself. Speaking too quickly makes it hard for people to follow along, while speaking too slowly can bore them. Aim for a moderate pace, pausing occasionally to let your words sink in. To illustrate the importance of pacing, consider the legendary Martin Luther King Jr. His iconic "I have a dream" speech is a masterclass in vocal delivery. He used deliberate pauses and rhythmic pacing to create suspense and amplify his message. As he famously declared, "I dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin but by the content of their character." His cadence gave those words immense power. Now, let's talk about articulation. Articulating your words clearly ensures that your message is understood. Practice tongue twisters like, "She sells seashells by the seashore," to improve diction. Start slowly, enunciating each word carefully, then gradually increase your speed. This exercise strengthens your vocal muscles and enhances clarity. Another tip is to warm up your voice before speaking. Just as athletes stretch before a game, speakers should prepare their voices. Humming, yawning, and gently massaging your throat can loosen tension and improve vocal quality. 3. Practicing positive self-talk. Confidence isn't just external, it begins within. The way you talk to yourself has a profound impact on how you feel and perform. Negative self-talk, "I'm going to mess up, they'll think I'm stupid," creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. Instead, replace these thoughts with affirmations that empower you. Here are some examples of positive affirmations you can use. I am confident and articulate. My voice matters, and people want to hear what I have to say. I am prepared, and I will succeed. Repeat these affirmations daily, especially before important conversations. Write them down and place them where you'll see them often, on your mirror, phone, or desk. Over time, they'll reshape your mindset and boost your confidence. Let me share another inspiring story. James Earl Jones, the iconic voice behind Darth Vader in Star Wars, wasn't always a confident speaker. As a child, he suffered from a severe stutter and avoided talking altogether. But through determination and practice, he learned to embrace his voice. He once said, "One of the hardest things in life is having words in your heart that you can't utter." Today, his deep, resonant voice is celebrated worldwide, a testament to the power of perseverance. 4. Embracing vulnerability. Confidence doesn't mean being perfect, it means embracing vulnerability. Brené Brown, a renowned researcher on courage and vulnerability, says, "Vulnerability is not winning or losing, it's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome." When you accept that mistakes are part of the process, you free yourself from the pressure to be flawless. For example, imagine you're giving a presentation and forget a key point. Instead of panicking, acknowledge it with grace. "Let me pause here for a moment to clarify something important." This shows professionalism and keeps your audience engaged. Another way to embrace vulnerability is to share personal stories. Authenticity builds trust and connection. When you open up about your experiences, both successes and failures, you humanize yourself and inspire others. 5. Practical exercises for building confidence. Now that you understand the principles of building confidence, let's put them into practice with actionable exercises. Mirror practice. Stand in front of a mirror and deliver a short speech or presentation. Observe your facial expressions, posture, and gestures. This helps you become more aware of how you present yourself. Record and review. Use your phone to record yourself speaking. Listen back to identify areas for improvement, such as filler words, monotony, or rushed pacing. Role-playing scenarios. Practice different communication scenarios with a friend or mentor. For instance, simulate a job interview or a team meeting to build real-world confidence. Public speaking opportunities. Seek out opportunities to speak in front of groups, whether at work, school, or community events. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become. These exercises may feel challenging at first, but consistency is key. As Tony Robbins famously said, "Repetition is the mother of skill." With regular practice, you'll notice significant improvements in your confidence and articulation. By now, you've learned how to overcome fear and anxiety, develop a strong and engaging voice, and cultivate positive self-talk. You've also explored practical exercises to build confidence in your communication skills. But there's still more to discover. In the next chapter, we'll delve into organizing your thoughts clearly, a vital step toward becoming a more articulate communicator. Chapter 3: Organizing your thoughts clearly. Whether you're delivering a presentation, participating in a meeting, or having a casual conversation, clarity is key. Disorganized thoughts can lead to confusion, frustration, and missed opportunities. In this chapter, we'll explore why structure matters, introduce powerful frameworks for organizing ideas, and discuss how to avoid common pitfalls that hinder clear communication. By the end, you'll have the tools to express your thoughts with logic and precision. Let's get started. 1. The importance of structure. Imagine trying to assemble furniture without instructions. You'd likely end up with pieces scattered everywhere, unsure of where to begin. The same principle applies to communication. Without a clear structure, your ideas can feel disjointed, leaving your audience lost. Structure provides a roadmap for your message, guiding both you and your listeners through the conversation. It ensures that your points flow logically and that your audience can follow along effortlessly. As Aristotle once said, "The soul never thinks without an image." Structure is the image that shapes your thoughts into something tangible and understandable. One simple yet effective model for structuring your thoughts is the PIE framework: point, illustration, explanation. Point. Start by stating your main idea or argument clearly. For example, effective communication requires preparation. Illustration. Provide a concrete example or story to support your point. For instance, when I prepared thoroughly for my first TED Talk, I felt more confident and delivered a stronger message. Explanation. Conclude by explaining why your point matters. Preparation not only boosts confidence but also ensures your message resonates with your audience. This framework works because it combines logic, evidence, and relevance, making your message easier to digest. 2. Using frameworks for better clarity. Now that we've covered the PIE framework, let's explore 2 additional models that can help you organize your thoughts effectively: PREP and STAR. PREP, point, reason, example, point. This model is ideal for persuasive communication. Here's how it works. Point. Begin with your main idea. For example, public speaking is a skill anyone can learn. Reason. Explain why your point is valid. Research shows that practice and feedback significantly improve public speaking abilities. Example. Share a relatable story. Take Sarah, who overcame her fear of speaking by joining a local Toastmasters club. Within 6 months, she was confidently leading meetings at work. Point. Reinforce your original statement. With consistent effort, anyone can become a confident speaker. STAR, situation, task, action, result. This model is particularly useful for storytelling or answering behavioral interview questions. Situation. Set the scene. Last year, I was tasked with presenting our annual report to the board of directors. Task. Describe your responsibility. My goal was to highlight key achievements and propose new strategies for growth. Action. Explain what you did. I organized my presentation using the PREP framework, practiced extensively, and incorporated visuals to engage the audience. Result. Share the outcome. The board praised the clarity of my presentation and approved all proposed initiatives. These frameworks provide a clear structure that keeps your thoughts organized and your audience engaged. Let me share a real-life example of how structure transformed someone's communication. A few years ago, I worked with John, a software engineer who struggled to explain complex technical concepts to non-technical colleagues. His explanations were often long-winded and confusing, leading to misunderstandings. Together, we implemented the STAR framework for his presentations. He began by describing the problem, situation, outlining his role, task, detailing his solution, action, and sharing measurable results, result. Not only did his team understand him better, but they also started seeking his input more frequently. Structure made all the difference. 3. Avoiding common pitfalls. Even with a solid framework, certain habits can undermine your clarity. Let's examine some common pitfalls and how to avoid them. Lack of focus. Rambling or going off topic dilutes your message. Stick to your main point and resist the urge to include every detail. Winston Churchill once said, "Broadly speaking, the short words are the best, and the old words when short are best of all." Keep it concise. Overloading information, bombarding your audience with too much data can overwhelm them. Instead, prioritize the most important points and elaborate selectively. Using jargon, technical terms, or industry-specific language can alienate your audience. Always adapt your vocabulary to suit your listener's level of understanding. Repeating yourself, reiterating the same idea multiple times without adding new value can frustrate your audience. Use repetition strategically, such as summarizing key takeaways, rather than restating unnecessarily. To illustrate the danger of these pitfalls, consider a scenario where a manager delivers a lengthy update during a team meeting. If the update lacks focus, includes irrelevant details, and uses jargon, team members may tune out or leave confused. On the other hand, a well-structured update, one that highlights priorities, provides actionable insights, and invites questions, ensures everyone leaves informed and aligned. 4. Writing before speaking. One of the best ways to organize your thoughts is to write them down before speaking. Writing forces you to think critically and arrange your ideas logically. Here's how to do it effectively. Create an outline. Start with a high-level overview of your main points. For example, if you're preparing for a presentation, list 3 to 5 key ideas you want to cover. Use bullet points. Break down each main point into subpoints or supporting details. This makes your outline easy to follow. Practice verbalizing. Once your outline is ready, practice delivering your message aloud. This helps you refine your phrasing and identify areas that need clarification. For instance, imagine you're preparing for a job interview. Write down potential questions and draft structured responses using the PREP or STAR framework. Practice answering these questions until you feel comfortable articulating your thoughts confidently. 5. The power of preparation. Preparation is the backbone of clear communication. As Benjamin Franklin wisely said, "By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail." Here's how to prepare effectively. Know your audience. Tailor your message to their needs, interests, and level of understanding. Anticipate questions. Think about potential questions your audience might ask and prepare thoughtful answers. Rehearse. Practice your delivery multiple times, ideally in front of a mirror or with a friend. Pay attention to your tone, pace, and body language. Let me share another inspiring story. Maya Angelou, the legendary poet and author, was known for her ability to captivate audiences with her words. But behind her eloquence was meticulous preparation. Before every speech, she would rehearse tirelessly, ensuring her message was clear, impactful, and authentic. Her dedication reminds us that even the most gifted communicators rely on preparation to shine. Chapter 4. Mastering Body Language and Nonverbal Cues. Did you know that over 55% of communication impact comes from nonverbal signals? That's right. Your gestures, facial expressions, posture, and even your eye contact can speak louder than your words. In this chapter, we'll uncover the key elements of effective body language, learn how to align verbal and nonverbal messages, and discover how to adapt your communication style to different audiences. By the end, you'll have a deeper understanding of how to use your body as a tool for connection and influence. Let's dive in. 1. Key elements of body language. Body language is the unspoken dialogue that complements, or contradicts, your words. To master it, let's break down its key components. Posture. Your stance communicates confidence or uncertainty. Standing tall with shoulders back conveys authority, while slouching suggests disinterest or insecurity. As Amy Cuddy, a social psychologist and author of Presence, famously said, Your body language may shape who you are. Adopting confident postures not only influences how others perceive you but also boosts your self-assurance. Eye contact. Maintaining steady eye contact builds trust and shows attentiveness. However, too much staring can feel intimidating, so aim for a natural balance. For instance, when speaking to a group, shift your gaze between individuals to create a sense of inclusion. Gestures. Hand movements can emphasize points and make your message more engaging. Use open gestures, such as spreading your arms slightly, to appear approachable. Avoid fidgeting or crossing your arms, which can signal defensiveness or discomfort. Facial expressions. Your face is a canvas for emotions. A warm smile can put people at ease, while raised eyebrows can indicate curiosity or surprise. Be mindful of unintentional expressions, like scowling or looking bored, which can alienate your audience. To illustrate the power of body language, consider the story of Steve Jobs. Known for his captivating product launches, Jobs mastered the art of nonverbal communication. He used deliberate pauses, walked confidently across the stage, and maintained eye contact with the audience. His body language reinforced his message, making every announcement feel monumental. 2. Aligning verbal and nonverbal messages. One of the biggest mistakes in communication is letting your words and body language contradict each other. For example, imagine someone saying, "I'm so excited about this opportunity," while avoiding eye contact and crossing their arms. Their body language undermines their verbal message, creating confusion. To ensure alignment, follow these tips. Match tone and gestures. If you're delivering positive news, pair it with a smile and open gestures. Conversely, if discussing a serious topic, adopt a calm and composed demeanor. Be consistent. Ensure your facial expressions, posture, and tone of voice reflect the sentiment of your words. Consistency builds credibility and trust. Practice awareness. Record yourself speaking or ask a friend to observe your nonverbal cues. Are they enhancing or detracting from your message? Let me share an example of misaligned communication. A colleague once gave a presentation about teamwork but spent most of the time reading from notes, without making eye contact. Despite her well-prepared content, her lack of engagement left the audience disinterested. Afterward, I suggested she rehearse while focusing on connecting with her listeners through eye contact and gestures. The next time she presented, her audience was fully engaged, a testament to the importance of alignment. 3. Adapting to different audiences. Effective body language isn't one-size-fits-all. It depends on your audience and context. Here's how to adapt. Cultural differences. Nonverbal cues vary across cultures. For example, direct eye contact is seen as respectful in Western cultures but may be perceived as confrontational in some Asian cultures. Research cultural norms before interacting with international audiences. Group size. In small groups, lean forward slightly to show interest and encourage participation. In larger settings, use broader gestures to ensure everyone feels included. Formality level. Adjust your body language based on the setting. A formal presentation requires polished movements, while casual conversations benefit from relaxed, friendly gestures. Consider the example of Nelson Mandela, whose ability to connect with diverse audiences made him a global icon. Whether addressing world leaders or rural communities, he adapted his body language to resonate with each group. His warmth, humility, and authenticity transcended cultural barriers, inspiring millions. 4. Building rapport through mirroring. Mirroring is a subtle yet powerful technique for building rapport. It involves subtly mimicking the other person's body language, tone, or gestures to create a subconscious sense of familiarity. For instance, if someone leans forward during a conversation, you might do the same after a few moments. Or if they speak softly, lower your own volume to match theirs. Be careful not to overdo it. Mirroring should feel natural, not forced. This technique works because humans are wired to connect with those who resemble us. As Tony Robbins once said, "The quality of your life is the quality of your relationships." Mastering mirroring can strengthen your connections and foster trust. 5. Reading others' body language. Understanding nonverbal cues isn't just about improving your own, it's also about interpreting others. Pay attention to these signals. Crossed arms often indicates resistance or discomfort. If you notice this, try asking open-ended questions to encourage engagement. Fidgeting may suggest nervousness or impatience. Addressing the underlying issue can help ease tension. Nodding shows agreement or encouragement. If someone nods frequently, it's a sign they're following along and appreciate your message. A real-life example of reading body language comes from my experience coaching a client named Rachel. During negotiations, she noticed her counterpart leaning back with crossed arms, a sign of skepticism. Instead of pushing harder, she paused, asked clarifying questions, and adjusted her approach. By responding to his nonverbal cues, she turned a potentially contentious discussion into a collaborative solution. 6. Practical exercises for mastering body language. Now that you understand the principles of body language, let's put them into practice with actionable exercises. Mirror practice. Stand in front of a mirror and deliver a short speech. Observe your posture, gestures, and facial expressions. Make adjustments until you project confidence and warmth. Video recording. Record yourself speaking and review the footage. Look for inconsistencies between your words and body language. Role-playing scenarios. Practice adapting your body language to different contexts, such as a formal meeting versus a casual chat. Ask a friend for feedback. People watching. Spend time observing others in public spaces. Notice how their body language reflects their mood or intentions. This exercise sharpens your ability to read nonverbal cues. Consistency is key. As Malcolm Gladwell wrote in Outliers, practice isn't the thing you do once you're good. It's the thing you do that makes you good. With regular practice, you'll become adept at using body language to enhance your communication. Chapter 5. Storytelling and Connection Building. Stories are more than just entertainment. They're a universal language that connects hearts, inspires action, and makes your message unforgettable. Whether you're presenting at work, teaching a class, or simply sharing an experience with friends, storytelling can elevate your communication to new heights. In this chapter, we'll uncover why stories matter, explore how to craft compelling narratives, and learn how to engage your audience emotionally. By the end, you'll have the tools to tell stories that resonate deeply and leave a lasting impact. Let's begin. 1. Why stories matter. Humans are wired for stories. From ancient cave paintings to modern-day movies, storytelling has been our primary means of passing down knowledge, culture, and values. Unlike raw data or abstract concepts, stories activate multiple areas of the brain, making them easier to remember and relate to. As Maya Angelou famously said, "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Stories evoke emotions, joy, empathy, curiosity, that linger long after the words fade. For instance, imagine you're pitching a business idea. You could present statistics and charts, but adding a personal story about how your product solved a real problem instantly humanizes your message. It transforms numbers into meaning and facts into feelings. Let me share a powerful example. When I first started coaching professionals on public speaking, I struggled to explain the importance of vulnerability. Then, during one workshop, I shared a personal story about a time I froze during a presentation early in my career. I described the fear, embarrassment, and eventual triumph of overcoming it. The room fell silent as participants nodded in recognition. That moment taught me that stories don't just inform, they inspire. 2. Crafting compelling stories. Now that we understand the value of storytelling, let's dive into how to craft a narrative that captivates your audience. Here are 3 proven frameworks to guide your storytelling process. The hero's journey, popularized by Joseph Campbell. This timeless structure follows a protagonist who embarks on an adventure, faces challenges, and emerges transformed. Step 1. Ordinary world. Introduce the hero and their normal life. For example, like many young professionals, Sarah dreamed of excelling in her career but struggled with public speaking. Step 2. Call to adventure. Present the challenge or opportunity. One day, she was asked to give a keynote speech, a daunting task for someone afraid of speaking up. Step 3. trials and transformation, described the obstacles faced and lessons learned. Through practice and perseverance, Sarah not only delivered a stellar speech but also discovered her inner confidence. Step 4. Return home. Conclude with the hero returning wiser and stronger. Today, Sarah mentors others on overcoming their fears, proving that growth begins with courage. Problem-solution benefit. This model is ideal for persuasive storytelling. Problem: highlight the issue. Every year, thousands of students struggle to articulate their ideas clearly during exams. Solution: offer your approach. By practicing structured frameworks like PrEP, they can organize their thoughts effectively. Benefit: explain the positive outcome. Not only do their grades improve, but they also gain lifelong communication skills. Before-after bridge. This framework creates contrast to emphasize change. Before, paint a picture of the current state. Once, I dreaded networking events because I felt awkward and unsure of what to say. After, show the improved state. Now I enter every event with confidence, knowing exactly how to start meaningful conversations. Bridge. Explain how the transformation happened. It all began when I learned the art of asking open-ended questions and listening actively. These frameworks provide a clear structure that keeps your audience engaged while delivering your core message. 3. Engaging your audience emotionally. Great stories don't just entertain, they connect. To truly engage your audience, focus on evoking emotion. Here's how. Be authentic. Share genuine experiences rather than fabricated tales. Authenticity builds trust and relatability. As Brené Brown wisely said, vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. Don't shy away from sharing moments of failure or doubt. They make your story human. Use vivid details. Paint a vivid picture with sensory descriptions. Instead of saying, "I visited Paris," describe the aroma of fresh baguettes wafting through cobblestone streets, or the golden glow of sunlight reflecting off the Seine River. These details immerse your audience in the moment. Focus on conflict. Every great story revolves around conflict, the tension between desire and obstacle. Highlight the struggles your hero faced and how they overcame them. Conflict keeps listeners hooked. To illustrate emotional engagement, consider the story of Malala Yousafzai. Her journey from surviving an assassination attempt to becoming a global advocate for girls' education is profoundly moving. She doesn't just recount events, she shares her fears, hopes, and dreams, inviting us to walk alongside her. Her story reminds us that true connection stems from vulnerability and purpose. 4. Using stories to influence and inspire. Stories aren't just for entertainment, they're powerful tools for influence. Whether you're leading a team, selling a product, or advocating for change, storytelling can amplify your impact. Here's a real-life example. During a fundraising campaign for clean water initiatives, a nonprofit organization shared a simple yet poignant story. They introduced Amina, a young girl in rural Africa who walked miles each day to fetch dirty water. Her daily struggle highlighted the urgent need for sustainable solutions. By the end of the campaign, donors were moved to contribute generously, not because of statistics, but because of Amina's story. To use stories effectively, keep these tips in mind. Know your purpose. What do you want your audience to feel or do after hearing your story? Tailor your narrative accordingly. Highlight universal themes. Focus on themes like resilience, hope, or determination that resonate across cultures and backgrounds. Include a call to action. End your story with a clear takeaway or next step. For example, Amina's story inspired thousands to take action. Will you join us in creating a brighter future? 5. Practical exercises for storytelling mastery. Now that you understand the principles of storytelling, let's put them into practice with actionable exercises. Story journaling. Spend 5 minutes each day writing down a personal experience. Reflect on the emotions involved and how you overcame challenges. Over time, you'll build a library of stories to draw from. Audience mapping. Before telling a story, identify your audience's interests, values, and pain points. Adapt your narrative to align with their needs. Peer feedback. Share a story with a friend or colleague and ask for feedback. Did it resonate? Were there moments of confusion or disengagement? Use their input to refine your delivery. Practice delivery. Rehearse your story aloud, focusing on tone, pacing, and pauses. Experiment with gestures and facial expressions to enhance emotional impact. Consistency is key. As Stephen King wrote in On Writing, "If you want to be a writer, you must do two things above all others: read a lot and write a lot." Similarly, if you want to master storytelling, immerse yourself in both consuming and crafting stories. By now, you've learned why stories are essential for impactful communication, explored frameworks for crafting compelling narratives, and discovered how to engage your audience emotionally. You've also gained practical exercises to hone your storytelling skills. These tools will help you turn ordinary conversations into extraordinary connections. But mastering communication isn't just about theory, it's about putting everything into practice. Chapter 6: Practical Exercises for Everyday Improvement. By now, you've gained valuable insights into effective communication, from understanding its foundations and mastering body language to crafting compelling stories. But knowledge alone isn't enough. True growth comes from consistent practice. In this chapter, we'll explore practical exercises designed to help you apply these lessons in your daily life. These activities are simple yet powerful, ensuring that every step forward brings you closer to becoming a more articulate communicator. Let's get started. 1. Daily speaking drills. One of the best ways to improve your communication skills is through regular speaking drills. These exercises train your voice, refine your articulation, and build confidence over time. Here are 3 drills you can incorporate into your routine. Tongue twisters. Start with classic tongue twisters like, "She sells seashells by the seashore," or, "Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers." Begin slowly, enunciating each word clearly, then gradually increase your speed. This strengthens your vocal muscles and enhances clarity. Reading aloud. Choose a book, article, or even a script and read it aloud for 5 to 10 minutes daily. Focus on modulating your tone, varying your pace, and emphasizing key phrases. Record yourself occasionally to track your progress. Mirror practice. Stand in front of a mirror and deliver a short speech or presentation. Pay attention to your posture, gestures, and facial expressions. This exercise helps you become more aware of how you present yourself physically while speaking. Consistency is crucial. As Malcolm Gladwell famously wrote in Outliers, "Practice isn't the thing you do once you're good. It's the thing you do that makes you good." Commit to these drills daily, and you'll notice significant improvements in your articulation and delivery. 2. Mock conversations and role-playing. Another effective way to sharpen your communication skills is through mock conversations and role-playing scenarios. These exercises simulate real-life interactions, preparing you for various situations with confidence. Mock interviews. Practice answering common interview questions using the STAR framework: situation, task, action, result. For example, describe a challenging project you led, the actions you took to overcome obstacles, and the results achieved. Ask a friend to play the role of the interviewer and provide feedback. Role-playing difficult conversations. Prepare for tough discussions by rehearsing them beforehand. Whether it's addressing a conflict at work or negotiating a deal, role-playing allows you to anticipate challenges and refine your approach. Group discussions. Organize or join group discussions with friends, colleagues, or peers. Take turns leading the conversation, asking open-ended questions, and summarizing key points. This builds active listening skills and encourages constructive dialogue. Let me share an example of how role-playing transformed someone's communication. A client named David struggled with assertiveness during team meetings. He often hesitated to share his ideas, fearing judgment. Together, we conducted mock meetings where he practiced voicing his opinions confidently. Over time, he became more comfortable contributing, and his teammates began valuing his input. Role-playing gave him the safe space to experiment and grow. 3. Tracking progress over time. Improvement requires reflection. To ensure you're making steady progress, adopt a habit of tracking your communication journey. Here's how. Keep a communication journal. After important conversations, presentations, or meetings, jot down what went well and what could be improved. Note specific feedback you received and actionable steps for future improvement. Set SMART goals. Define specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals for your communication development. For instance, aim to reduce filler words by 50% within 2 weeks, or give 1 impromptu speech per week. Celebrate small wins. Acknowledge your achievements along the way. Did you successfully lead a meeting? Did you receive positive feedback on a presentation? Celebrate these milestones. They fuel motivation and reinforce progress. To illustrate the importance of tracking progress, consider the story of Sarah, a young teacher I mentored. She kept a journal documenting her teaching style, noting areas where students seemed disengaged. Over months, she experimented with storytelling techniques, body language adjustments, and interactive activities. Her journal became a roadmap for transformation, helping her evolve into a dynamic educator whose classes students eagerly attended. 4. Building a support system. No journey is complete without support. Surround yourself with people who encourage your growth and provide constructive feedback. Join public speaking groups. Organizations like Toastmasters offer structured environments to practice public speaking and receive peer feedback. They also provide leadership opportunities, helping you develop both verbal and nonverbal communication skills. Seek mentorship. Find a mentor, someone experienced in communication, who can guide you through challenges and offer personalized advice. Their wisdom can accelerate your learning curve significantly. Collaborate with peers. Partner with friends or colleagues who share similar goals. Practice together, exchange feedback, and hold each other accountable. Collaboration fosters mutual growth and keeps you motivated. Let me share one final inspiring story. Oprah Winfrey credits much of her success to the mentors and supporters who believed in her early on. From her high school English teacher to her first TV producer, these individuals encouraged her to embrace her voice and tell her truth. Their belief in her potential fueled her determination to excel. Surround yourself with people who see your potential and remind you of it when self-doubt creeps in. Congratulations, you've reached the end of Speak Smart, How to Be More Articulate. Through this audiobook, you've explored the art of communication, mastered essential skills, and learned practical strategies to apply in your daily life. Remember, becoming a confident communicator is a journey, not a destination. It takes patience, persistence, and passion. As Tony Robbins once said, "The only impossible journey is the one you never begin." You've taken the first step today. Now, it's up to you to keep moving forward. Practice consistently, seek feedback, and embrace every opportunity to grow. Audiobook conclusion. As we wrap up this audiobook, let's take a moment to reflect on the key lessons you've learned throughout this journey. Chapter 1. You discovered the foundational elements of effective communication, content, voice, and body language, and understood how structure shapes clarity. Chapter 2. You learned strategies to overcome fear and anxiety, developed a strong and engaging voice, and embraced positive self-talk to build confidence. Chapter 3. You mastered frameworks like PIE, PrEP, and start to organize your thoughts logically and avoid common pitfalls that hinder clear communication. Chapter 4. You explored the power of body language, learning how posture, gestures, and facial expressions can amplify, or undermine, your message. Chapter 5. You unlocked the art of storytelling, discovering how to craft compelling narratives that connect emotionally and inspire action. Chapter 6. Finally, you gain practical exercises to apply these lessons in your daily life, ensuring consistent growth and improvement. These tools, when practiced regularly, will transform the way you communicate, empowering you to speak with clarity, confidence, and impact. Remember, becoming a more articulate communicator isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Every great speaker, from Oprah Winfrey to Steve Jobs, started as a beginner. What sets them apart is their commitment to continuous learning and practice. So, I encourage you to take what you've learned here and put it into action. Start small. Practice reading aloud for 5 minutes today, or rehearse a story using the Hero's Journey framework. Celebrate your wins, no matter how minor they may seem, and don't be afraid to stumble along the way. Growth happens outside your comfort zone. As Zig Ziglar once said, "You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great." You've already taken the first step by listening to this audiobook. Now, it's time to keep moving forward. Imagine the possibilities: clearer conversations, stronger relationships, and greater opportunities, all because you chose to invest in yourself. Believe in your potential, stay patient, and trust the process. Thank you for joining us on this wisdom journey. It has been an honor to guide you through the principles and practices of articulate communication. If you found this audiobook helpful, I'd love for you to share it with others who might benefit from its insights. Here's how you can support Wisdom Audiobooks. Like this video, your feedback helps us reach more people. Share it with friends. Spread the wisdom by sharing this audiobook with someone who wants to grow their communication skills. Subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for more inspiring content designed to empower and educate. Together, let's create a community of confident communicators who inspire, connect, and lead with authenticity. Until next time, remember, your words have power. Use them wisely, speak smart, and let your voice change the world.